Curious what's going to happen in the real estate market here for Reno, Sparks, Carson City, and Northern Nevada. We're going to go over the 5 things to watch in 2025 and what I think may happen here in Northern Nevada. Let's dive in and take a look. All right, so like I said, we're going to take a look at the 5 things to watch in 2025. I'm Garrett Stewart with Keller Williams, your real estate professional for the area. So taking a look, the 5 things that we're going to go over, we're going to talk about home sales activity. We're going to talk about interest rates and affordability. We're talk about home prices. Are they going to go up or down? We're going to talk about new construction and just our supply and inventory in itself. And we're going to talk about the local economy and job market and what might happen there and how that may change where we go for 2025. First thing is for sales. We're anticipating sales to increase in 2025. With 2024 was the first half of the year was a lot slower of a year, and it was I was thinking that it was going to be our worst year in decades. We did luckily have a stronger second half of the year, where in turn we ended up being the second lowest, slightly outpacing 2023's slower sales numbers. So while it was still slower, we saw that pick back up. We're likely going to see that continue though and see momentum go. We just finished out January and it is already significantly better than January of last year. So we'll probably see that continue. And what a lot of this has to do with just confidence, with kind of rates stabilizing and things like that. So people are used to these rates where they are now. Next thing is interest rates. So like I mentioned, rates have kind of stabilized for the most part within a percentage range or so. We weren't kind of seeing big changes, big jumps too much anymore. So we might see a softening in 2025, but don't expect anything big to change. So we're kind of in the upper 6% range, low 7% range. We're probably going to stick in that, hopefully more into the 6s, mid 6s, for lucky low 6s. But again, without buying down your interest rate, we're probably going to land by the mid 6% range this year. So with the Federal Reserve already announcing that they're probably only going to do 2 rate cuts this year, that's likely what we're going to see as well, and kind of revalidates that. Buyers are a little less hesitant right now as they adapt this as a new normal for rates for them. So historically, they're more historically average and appropriate and still kind of below average. But, obviously in recent times, we've been used to that 3% interest rates for over a decade now. Home prices are going to continue to go up. I know if you're a buyer out there, you're like, crap. So with that said, limited inventory is kind of keeping these prices a little bit more elevated and continuing to trend upward. This is big. While we have new construction helping, it's not enough to outpace the demand, and especially because a lot of that new construction is kind of further out. We have a steady appreciation of expected, and there's multiple high demand areas around town where we'll see even higher appreciation above the area average. Speaking of which, let's take a look at the last decade and kind of where we may go. You can look and see just from December of the previous year to that year where they landed, and you can see where appreciation went for that each year. And where that falls, for 2024, we were at 7.95%. The previous year, 7.17%. So let's just say we did slightly lower than the last 2 years. That gives us a 7% potential price growth for 2025. Let's just say you're looking at a $500,000 house today, and that means that by the end of the year, it could be worth $535,000. So that is great growth, and with all of the different things going on in this real estate market, it can put a little extra money in your pocket and confidence, especially if rates are expected to stay nearly the same. It might make more sense to buy now versus wait for lower prices or lower interest rates. Let's talk into inventory and the new construction out there. Building permits are increasing. They have increased over the last few years. Came down a little bit from a few years ago, but we're kind of seeing them increase a little bit, so we project them to go up a little bit. And with more multifamily townhomes, condos getting built as well, and apartments as well. A lot of apartments going on, and new construction is just still not keeping up demand. And we're seeing this new construction, a lot of the single family homes are further and further away from, this town center. So we're looking mostly in the Reno area, Reno Sparks area. We're kind of seeing more in Spanish Springs is kind of where that's heavy. Most of South Reno is mostly built out now for new single family homes. So there's a little bit in West Reno towards Verdi a little bit, but there's not a lot left. So we're not going to see too many single family big developments anymore here, but we're seeing them in other communities. Dayton, Carson City as well, and Fernley, seeing lots of new development there. So we'll probably see that's going to kind of help alleviate things as well. We're also seeing a lot of these apartments help alleviate some of the pain as well. With the job market, we're seeing a lot of increase. We've seen the tech and renewable energy industries really start to boost our growth. Obviously, we know Tesla years back came in here. Well, they're expanding, and so that's bringing even more jobs. We have the light and battery plant that recently announced in 2024 they were coming here. That's going to bring in more jobs, and other solar projects and things like that, and just manufacturing. If you haven't driven down USA Parkway recently, highly recommend you do that. That'll really give you a feel for all of this economic boom going into our area, and shows how significant things have become out there. So there feels like there's dozens of warehouses getting built right now, so a lot of stuff going on there. Definitely worth checking out. And for in 2024, we saw wage growth go up 6.2%. We're likely to see that continue, and it's needed. There is kind of that wage gap from home prices and where wages are, and so we don't anticipate the prices to come down on homes, so we need that wages to help get those consumers a little bit closer to affording their home. So hopefully that helps bring some higher paying jobs in, and we can get more homeowners out there. Take a look at for the rental market and the trends there. We anticipate rental prices, we're going to see that continue to increase actually, and into 2025. Even with all of the apartments getting built, like I said, there's South Virginia, there's new apartments down here that are right off the street there, and I'm just like, wow. So there's a lot still going on and getting built, but we do expect the rent prices to continue to increase, and there's still a lot of strong demand for the remote workers and out-of-state movers coming into the area. And a lot of this affordability gap, people have sat on the sidelines for so long that they, now that things have stabilized for the most part in terms of interest rates, but their rent keeps going up, they're finally deciding, that rent is getting more and more closer to what their mortgage payment might be, and they might jump on that trend of, buying a home. So we're seeing that, with rents increasing, seeing a move closer towards that. Hopefully this answers a lot of your questions of what may happen in Reno, Sparks, and Northern Nevada for 2025. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. My information's on the screen here. Would love to help you make a move, whether it's buy, sell, or invest here in Northern Nevada. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.